Hi, today I'm going to tell you all something about how to safely access our data after authentication, even on some other softwares. So here I have used Visual Studio Data and I will export this data to the Postman and safely after authentication. So what we have to do is firstly we have to create a new ASP.NET Core web application, uh, and then we have to write the project name and select API. So there we have a default weather forecast data in the JSON form. So if we open this, like I'm not going to do it now because it will hamper my this model. So when we will open this, it will show data in different in different browser window, the whole data of this freezing, bracing, and chilling, all everything. Fine. So, but that is not a secure way to access to our data. Like there are some data which has to be kept privately, like our private information. So and the companies, some company have some private policies if we are working with any company. So how we have to keep that privacy policy in mind, and then we have to apply everything. Fine. So what we are going to do is, firstly we will pass authentication to get info from the server. So firstly it will allow us to enter username and password. Then only we can access our data. And here we are going to test API on Postman software. So what we are going to do is we are going to define authentication key on app setting JSON. Here we have defined this is simple key. This is the authentication key which we have defined. Okay. So properties for this key, we have to set up the properties for this key, and that properties we have set up in this model. I have created a new software named as model, and in this I have kept the properties. Fine. There are different classes in this model: app setting.cs, authentication service, and student.cs. I will define all. And here is a controller. Controller has our default data, and we have to pass authentication method here. Like I have passed the authentication controller CS. So firstly we have to set up the authorization method that we have done using startup.cs, and startup.cs is here. We have set up the authorization method by using this, and then after setting up this startup.cs, when we will run our program, so we would not get the data as we were getting the default data in the starting. We will not get the data uh, because I have passed authentication method for authorization. Earlier we were getting current weather data, but now we are not getting anything because we have passed authorization to data. Fine. So how we can access that data? To get access to the data, we have to generate the iAuthentication services, and in this we will define the properties for authorization and define the user ID and password. Then we have to generate the authentication services in the model, this one, authentication services. Here I will set my username, password, and everything will be set up here. Admin, what we have to do is the whole programming should be done here, and add tokens as well. Like I have added these tokens. Then we have to create interface of admin authentication services and iAuthentication services. Fine, or else we will get errors. So And lastly, we have to define the authentication controller, how we have to control the authentication. Like if data is fine, then it's okay. It will show the username and password. And if there will be no information like student is equal to null, means student is the data here which we have used student.cs. So if that will be null, so it will return the invalid username or password. Fine. So this is all we have to do. And now as we are ready to run our model, and so what it's going to show, it is taking time as it is setting up everything. Yeah, so it is almost ready to run. Now we have to wait as, fine. Mm, we have to wait as machine is taking time. So basically, it is loading. As I said, fine. So this is the link which we have to copy. Fine. And here, this link is to be pasted in the postman here in the get URL here, and we have to replace it with weather forecast, this one, and we have to send. Okay, and here I have get the data, but this is 401 unauthorized. Okay, how we have to make this authorized? We have to select from here the post, then the URL. We If we will make authentication, then only it will be authorized. Fine. So what we will do here is we have to call the data. We have to put the username and password, which I have set it up here. So this will be my username and password, and I have to send the information. Uh, and it will it is showing error because I have already created the same thing here. That's why. Fine. That's why it's saying unsupported. I'll show you which I have already created here. So this one I have created. It is showing the student ID, first name, last name, username, and password. Okay. So here we have to copy this token, and this token it should be here. We have to select the bearer token name, and this should be entered here. And we have to then send. We have to click send, and we will get data. We will get the whole data here, and see it will show okay, means now this is not unauthorized, this is fine. So this is secure way to like to call our data from another software. So thank you so much.